What's up, guys? Before we get into today's video, I would like to go ahead and respin the wheel, selecting a new winner for the cubic deck profile. We tried to reach out to Ryan. It's been a couple days. Haven't heard back from him. Nothing. No response. No contact information. So I felt the only right thing to do is to go ahead and pass it along to one of our other contestants who wanted to win the deck. So without further ado, let's spin that wheel. Alright, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Where will it land? Voltage Gaming. Voltage Gaming. Congratulations on winning that cubic deck. Make sure you reach out to us. I will comment down below how to reach out to us, or I'll leave a comment on the Ghost from the Past video telling you how to reach out to us, how to get in contact with us, so we can get that deck sent out to you. Also, thank you so much to everyone else who participated in the giveaway. Make sure you keep your eyes out for the next giveaway that we do. And yeah, let's get into that deck profile. What's up, Yugi nerds? It's your boy Reaper here, and today I'm going to be deck profiling Trickstar Shaddolls. Now, I know that's kind of odd because typically when you hear Shaddolls you think Invoked, but I am broke, so I actually don't have access to invocations at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, eventually I will build Invoke Shaddolls. That is the plan. But today we're keeping it a little budget friendly, a little more on the budget friendly side. So yeah, let's go ahead and get on right into the deck profile. So in my Trickstar Shaddolls, I run 3 Re-Shaddol Windies. I got 2 Shaddol Beasts. And then I got 2 Shaddoll Squamatas, 1 Shadow Dragon, 1 Shadow Falco, 1 Shadow Hedgehog, and 1 Nail Shadow Ariel. And here in a moment I will go through and tell you a little bit about what the cards do and such. So next we got 3 Trickstar Candinas. We have 3 Trickstar Corbanes. We have 1 Performage Trick Clown, 3 Droll and Lockbird, 3 Mathematician, and then we got 3 Elf Shaddol Fusion. We have 3 Shadow Fusion, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Called by the Grave, 2 Super Poly, and 1 Trickstar Light Stage. Now going into the traps, we have 2 Resh Shaddol Incarnations and 3 Trickstar Reincarnations. Going into the extra deck, I run 1 Gravity Controller, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Predaplant Verte Anaconda, 1 Celine, Queen of the Master Magicians, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and then we have 1 El Shaddol Shikanaga, 2 El Shaddol App Cologne, 2 El Shaddol Windows, 3 El Shaddol Constructs, and 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Alright, now I'm going to go into a little bit of what the deck can do, what my main combos and everything are, and some stuff that you know may be able to swap out if you're not seeing good performance. So with the Trickstar Reincarnation, what this card does is you banish your opponent's entire hand, and if you do, they draw the same number of cards. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Trickstar monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So it is really good. Like I said, like you banish your opponent's entire hand. Like you banish your opponent's entire hand, and then they get to redraw. But if you're worried about any kind of like Ash Blossoms, or making sure that they don't have their main combo pieces, this card's really good. Then the Resh Shaddol Incarnations, what it does is you target 1 Shaddol monster in your graveyard and special summon it. in face up or face down defense position. And then you can banish this. You can banish this card and one Shaddoll monster in your graveyard. Then you can activate one of these effects. You get to change one face up or one face down monster you control to face up position, or you can change one face up monster you control to face down defense position. Now, if I could, I would drop one of these and replace it with Shaddoll Schism, but Schisms are kind of pricey, and I just don't have the money for it. So unfortunately, right now I am stuck running 2 of the Rest Shaddoll incarnations, which is fine. But if I had the money to drop on a Shaddoll Schism, I definitely would. Then we have the one Trickstar Light Stage, which you would search off of your Trickstar Candina if you didn't see it in your hand. Which, if you do see it in your hand, cool, but it kind of does suck drawing into it. But yeah, you would normal summon Trickstar Candina, you would search Light Stage, then you would activate Light Stage, and what Light Stage does is that it allows you to search for a Trickstar monster from your deck. So you could go into Korribane, or if you were to draw into your Light Stage, you would activate Light Stage, search Candina, normal Candina to search Korribane. And yeah, also if a Trickstar monster inflicts damage to your opponent, Trickstar Light Stage deals an additional 200 damage to your opponent, which I think is really cool. Just nice little burn damage there. And so next we have the 2 Super Poly. Honestly, if it came down to it, I would probably drop an El Shaddoll fusion to run another Super Poly, depending on the matchup, depending on what you're going against. Because Super Polys are great for outing Dragoons. And honestly, that's about the only out 2 Dragoons that this deck can run. So if you wanted to, you could definitely drop the El Shaddoll fusion, go into a additional Super Poly, and yeah. Next we have Called by the Grave, Foolish Burial. Basically negate your hand trap, and then you also get to send, a Shaddoll monster or your Perform Mage Trick Clown, just to get those graveyard effects. Alright, so next we have our 3 Shaddoll fusions. Fusion summon one Shaddoll fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters in your hand or field as fusion material. And then if your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can also use monsters from your deck as fusion materials. Which is really good because 9 times out of 10, going second, your opponent is going to have a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. So that way, you're able to special summon from your deck. Or special summon using materials from your deck, Next, we do have those El Shaddoll fusions, which is really good, quick play fusion spell. Fusion summon one Shaddoll fusion monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or field as fusion materials. Like I said, if you really wanted to, you could drop one, replace it with an additional Super Poly, especially if you're concerned about going up anything like Dragoons or anything like that. Plus, who doesn't like blowing up your opponent's board to fusion summon your own monster? It's just one of those nice things there. Next, we have the 3 Mathematician. When this card is normal summoned, you can send one level 4 or lower monster from your deck to the graveyard. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. Basically, it's a normal summon to send a Shaddoll monster from deck to grave, gaining that Shaddoll monster effect. Next, we have our hand traps, the 3 Draw and Lockbird, and if you're unfamiliar with it, if a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand, except during the draw phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard for the rest of the turn. Cards cannot be added from either player's main deck to the hand, which is really good. Like, say they're searching a monster, they add it to their hand, or searching a spell and they add it to your hand. You hit them with that Draw and Lockbird, they can no longer search cards from their deck and add them to their hand. Next, we have the 1 Perform Mage Trick Clown. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Perform Mage monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but its attack and defense becomes 0. Then you take 1,000 damage. You can only use this effect if perform a Trick Clown once per turn. So it's very good. It's a very good effect to send, and then special summon itself back to use as either fusion material, which primarily that's what you'd go into. You'd go into construct, or in case you needed it, you could go into link material. So for the measly price of 1,000 life points, you get that additional monster. Next, we got those Trickstar Corebanes. If you control no monsters or all monsters you control are Trickstar monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the damage step, when your Trickstar monster battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can send this card from your deck or from your hand to the graveyard, and that Trickstar monster you control gains attack equal to its original attack until the end of this turn. And then you can only use this effect once per turn each. Or you can use each effect once per turn. Sorry. Stumbling on my words. Words is hard, okay? Alright, next we have those 3 Trickstar Candinas. When this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 Trickstar card from your deck to your hand. Each time your opponent activates a spell or trap card, inflict 200 damage to them immediately after it resolves. Which is good because, like I said, if you open up on Candina, you normal summon Candina, you search Light Stage, you activate Light Stage, and then you use the Light Stage to search Korribane, and then from there on out, as long as you have Candina or Light Stage on the field, or as long as you have Candina and Light Stage on the field, basically whenever your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you're burning them for 400 damage, which is really neat. Next we have that Nail Shaddoll Aerial. Flip effect, you can target one of your banished Shaddoll monsters, special summon it in face up or face down defense position. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can target up to 3 cards in the graveyards, banish them. You can only use 1 Nail Shaddoll fusion effect per turn, and only once that turn, which is really good. Especially that banish effect. You send this card to the graveyard, and you select 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard, and you're like, nope, banish them. Like I said, if you can somehow manage to super poly your opponent's Dragoon, then you like Foolish Burial or Shaddoll Fusion, sending Nail Shaddoll from your deck to your graveyard, boom, you get to banish that Dragoon. And I'm almost positive no one's running more than 1 copy of Dragoon right now, because Dragoon was very limited. It's a very pricey card. So, yeah, you banish that boy, and you no longer have to worry about Dragoon. So, that's just how I think about it. I don't know if you guys are going up against Dragoons as often as I am, but I am. And so, when it comes to having cards like this and Super Poly, it's very nice to have. So, next we have that Shaddoll Hedgehog. As a flip effect, you can add 1 Shaddoll spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Then, if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can add 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand, except Shaddoll Hedgehog. You can only use this effect once per turn. Next we have Shaddoll Falco, which also has a flip effect. You can target 1 Shaddoll monster in your graveyard, except Shaddoll Falco, special summon it in face down defense position. Then, if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can special summon it in face down defense position. Really good for additional like link materials, fusion materials. It's also very good, like send it to the grave, you add it back, your opponent swings into it, flip effect, you then gain the effect to add the Shaddoll fusion card from your deck to your hand. Or Shaddoll spell or trap. It's not specific. Then we got Shaddoll Dragon. Flip effect, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can target 1 spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. Then we have the 2 Squamatas, which I believe Squamata is one of the best Shaddoll cards in the deck. Also Beast and obviously Aerial. But what Squamata does is its flip effect, you can target 1 monster on the field and destroy it, which is nice. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can send 1 Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard, except Shaddoll Squamata. So basically, boom, you set Squamata. They swing into Squamata. You activate Squamata effect to destroy a card. Or, use Shaddoll Fusion or Foolish Burial or anything like that. You send it to the graveyard. Guess what? You're then going to send your Shaddoll Beast to the graveyard so you can get that draw one. Which leads me into the Shaddoll Beast flip effect. You can draw 2 cards, then discard one. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can draw 1 card. So typically, if you're sending a Shaddoll monster from deck to grave off of any of these effects, you're going to want to send Beast, especially for that additional draw power. And then if you have an effect, to special summon one back, special summon, flip, draw 2, discard 1. So either way, it's a +1, or not a +1, it's a draw 1. Alright, and lastly, we do have those Shaddoll Windies. Its effect is flip. You can special summon 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck in face up or face down position, except Shaddoll Windy. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can special summon 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck in face down defense position, except Shaddoll Windy. So, another, send it to grave, special summon 1 from the deck. So, you send her to grave, special summon that Squamata, flip Squamata, and then, pop a card on your opponent's board. Alright, that sums it up for the main deck. I'm going to do a quick run through of the extra deck here. We have that Link 1 Gravity Controller. Requires 1 non-link monster in an extra monster zone. I don't really see Gravity Controller too often, but I feel like you would go, use Gravity Controller off of, something like Cross Sheep. But yeah, and then, Verte Anaconda, we're going to send that Shaddoll Fusion from deck to grave, send materials, and then special summon out either your Construct or your Winda, because, why would we want why would we want our opponents to special summon more than once? And then if they do special summon more than once, why wouldn't we want to just automatically destroy them when we declare, battle phase? So yeah, then we have IP Masquerena, which, if our board's not looking too great going turn 1, but we want to have, some sort of response to our opponent going into their turn, we can link into something like Nightmare Unicorn or Selene, because why would we not want to return a card our opponent controls to their deck, interrupting their plays? And then Selene, if this card is link summoned, place 1 spell counter on this card equal to the number of spells on the field and in the graveyards. Which, you're gonna have your Shaddolls, you're gonna have all of your opponent's spells. You're gonna have a lot of spell counters, or a decent amount. And then once per turn during the main phase, quick effect, you can remove 3 spell counters from the field, special summon 1 spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position to a zone that it points to. So, we have Beast, we got Squamata, we got Dragon, Falco, Hedgehog. So, we have plenty of targets for Selene if these are in our graveyards. Or, if your opponent is running spellcasters as well, you can also target theirs, special summon it, and then you have a good old board there. So then we have Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which is our primary super poly target. Like I said, if your opponent runs Dragoon, you hit them with that super poly, special summon your Starving Venom, and then you don't have to worry about Dragoon for a minute. So there's that. Then we have the 3 El Shaddoll constructs. Basically, when you declare an attack against a monster that was special summoned before damage calculation, that opponent's monster is automatically destroyed. So that's always fantastic. Then you have 2 Window, which basically prevents either player from special summoning more than once per turn. But, I mean, if you hit them with a Window, your opponent basically can't really pop off, especially if they're a very combo heavy deck. So it basically prevents them from getting too crazy with their combos. Alright, so next we have the El Shaddoll App Clones. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be destroyed by battle. You can only use each effect once per turn. And the effect is, give me just a second, text is small and I want to make sure I get it right for you guys. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up card on the field, negate its effects. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Shaddoll card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then discard 1 card. So, really good to negate effects. If like something like Borreload Savage, you hit him with the App Cologne, negate Savage's effects to negate, or, I mean, you can negate Appaloosas. And basically it's negating negates. And then we have the 1 Shikanaga. Must be fusion summoned when a special summon monster activates its effect while you have a Shaddoll card in your hand. Quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. Then send 1 Shaddoll card from your hand to the graveyard. Which also really good for negating effects, negating negates, or just disrupting or interrupting your opponent's plays. But alright guys, that is my Trickstar Shaddolls. I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. And yeah guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below any decks that you would like to see me profile. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!